Friendly fraud is when a customer makes legitimate purchases and then disputes the charge, claiming it was unauthorized. It's one of the harder fraud types to fight because the transaction itself can look completely normal, and winning a dispute comes down to the evidence that you can provide. In this video, I'll show you how to use Fingerprint to build a stronger evidence trail by linking purchases to a consistent browser or device identifier over time. We'll look at a mock event ticket storefront, first without Fingerprint, where the merchant has a very limited evidence, then with Fingerprint, where the full purchase history is tied to the same browser. Here's what it looks like without any protections in place. We've got our ticket storefront, and I can go ahead and make a purchase for an event. I can go and make my purchase. Let's say I'm kind of logged in. I've got my credit card information already linked to my account, so it's very easy to log in and make a purchase. Now let's say I want to make this more expensive Neon Skyline Festival purchase, but I want to claim that it's actually a false charge, that someone hacked my account. So I want to simulate a chargeback, even though it really was me that made the purchase. Now on the merchant view, I can see and look at that person's their purchase history, and I can see that they have made purchases in the past, but that's about it, right? The merchant view shows the purchase history, but there's not really much to work with. There's no way to show that this browser has made other purchases before, or that the disputed transaction fits a consistent pattern. Even identifiers like cookies or IP addresses, they can be easily changed. Now let's take a look at what this looks like with Fingerprint added. Again, I'm going to go ahead and make my purchase for my first event ticket here. I'm going to go ahead and make another purchase for a different event. And now I'm going to try and get that Neon Skyline Festival ticket, but I'll be a little bit more sneaky. I'm going to turn on my VPN and go to a Japan server. And I'm also going to open this page up in incognito mode. So I'm going to go ahead and make the purchase for this Neon Skyline Festival. Again, I'm logged in, but I'm pretending to be like I'm a hacked user, for example. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I disconnect my VPN there. And I'm now going to pretend and say, hey, that someone else made that purchase. It wasn't me, and simulate that chargeback. Now let's go to the merchant view. It's going to look pretty similar, almost exact same thing, but there's one difference. I now have this visitor ID, right? So now the merchant view shows that linked purchase history to the same browser identifier. Even though I bought the ticket with my VPN on and in an incognito window, Fingerprint was still able to identify that I was the exact same visitor making the purchase. That disputed purchase and every prior purchase as well all share the same visitor ID, making it much harder to claim the transaction was unauthorized. Okay, let's go ahead and add this to our other version here. So first I brought in the Fingerprint library there at the top. And now we're going to go ahead and use the get function to have Fingerprint identify the visitor. It's going to return to me an event ID, and I can use that event ID to get more details in the back end. I'm going to make sure to pass the event ID along with the ticket purchase, and on the back end here, you can see I'm just passing that whole body to my function to handle the purchases. Now, the first thing I want to do here is bring in the Fingerprint server API client using the secret API key. Make sure not to expose that on the front end. And now we're going to update our function here. So first thing I'm going to do is actually pull out the event ID from the body and use that to get the full identification event. This is going to include things like bot detection, browser tampering detection, VPN detection, VM detection, etc. I'm also going to pull out the visitor ID. This is that stable identifier that we saw in the demo just now with Fingerprint, and that doesn't change even when the IP address changes or cookies are cleared. Now what I want to do here is update my SQL query here to include the visitor ID when I'm making a purchase, right? So that way I can use that information later on with my evidence trail. And that's about it. I think I also want to make sure I update this query here. This is the query that's being used on that history trail, that table view. And here I'm going to make sure to also bring in the information for the visitor ID so I can find anything related to that visitor ID, not just for that one account. So even if a person has multiple accounts, I can still use that visitor ID to see and link them together. Again, just continuing to make sure I'm using the visitor ID throughout all of my queries here alongside of the delivery email or that email for the account. And now I'm good to go. And let's go ahead now and also make sure I'm actually updating the front end page here to show the visitor ID in that table. So I'm just gonna make sure I add the visitor ID column and the header for the visitor ID. Okay, I think that's about it. Let's go back now and reset the demo database and start fresh. I'm gonna go ahead and again make my purchases. So I'm gonna first make that first event purchase. Gonna make another event purchase here as well. And then I'm gonna make my neon skyline purchase, but again, I'm gonna turn my VPN on, connecting there to a Japan server. I'm gonna make sure and open this page in incognito as well, trying to obscure that I'm actually the same person using the same browser here to do this. And I'm gonna make that purchase, okay? I'm gonna head and close that incognito window and I'm gonna make sure I disconnect from my VPN. And then I can go back to my order history and I'm gonna simulate my chargeback. Obviously this will be coming from your credit card, not the website, but you get the idea. But now you can see I've got my visitor ID information here and I'm much better prepared, right? The transaction data alone is usually not enough to win a dispute. You have to prove more than that. And Fingerprint provides the device intelligence that ties together consistent activity over time, providing a much stronger basis for contesting a fraudulent chargeback claim. Now, in a real implementation, you could store this data alongside your existing order records and surface it through whatever dispute management process you already have in place. Go ahead and check out the full tutorial and the sample application to see the implementation steps and try it out for yourself. Take care.